righty, here we are, fishingbooker.com. Thursday, game plan Thursday, fishing game commission meeting Thursday. A lot going on today, gang. We're going early because we got a lot of stuff to do down here in our house in Cabo. So we're going a little bit early today, but a lot of members are watching the show, the commission meeting. A lot of people are sharing. A lot of people are doing what they're doing. But it's crazy as you guys watch. This all thing, they're trying to not let you know, but this is all being done with emotions.
3 years is like the blink of an eye, but also feels so long to me. And I think in the staff recommendation, it says something about getting an update in a year.
Absolutely incredible.
Like about timing.
Yeah,
those are my 3 questions.
I think a couple of you said it already. It's crazy, but it's Fishing Booker. It's Fishing Booker Thursday. If you ever want to go fishing on any boat anywhere, Fishing Booker is the way to go. We're kind of watching what they're going to try to tell us they're going to do here with this commission meeting. So kind of hang on. We're kind of listen to this. I want you to hear what's going on.
If the working group is
but if you have a question or anything, feel free to put it up on the screen.
Love to find a way for people to believe the data that come out of it. Okay, now I'll kick it over to you, Dr. Shubin.
All right, so if I remember the questions correctly in the correct order, the first one was what data are we going to collect? You had questions about recruitment. I may need to phone a friend if we really want to get into specifics, but I think that's what we're going to ask that working group to work on. So in the slide that Armin presented, the moving forward slide, spring, summer 25, we reconvene the working group. We focus on data needs for stock assessment and management.
The guy that's talking right now, absolutely. I listened to every word he says. He's got a clue what he's talking about. This guy wants to keep sand bass open. He wants us to do the 4 fish. These women, they don't know what's going on, and they have no idea, and they're doing it all emotionally. They even are telling you they're doing it emotionally. So listen, pay attention to what's going on. This is an important show today.
We task them to do. In terms of believing the data, in my mind, it's having everyone involved in identifying the data gaps, identifying how to fill those data gaps, and then getting out there together to fill those data gaps. So let's put the people out there together on the boats, in the lab, whatever we got to do. So they're all invested in it. Everyone's invested in it. Department scientists, fishing communities.
If you guys are wondering what's going on, we're listening to the Fishing Game Commission meeting right now.
Working together to fill those data gaps.
And
analyzing those data and then bringing them back with some answers. And as I've said to some of my colleagues in the fishing community, at that point, we live or die by the data.
John, right now we're worried about
whether we
closing fishing.
And sure, there'll still be uncertainty.
I would love to hear the history of Standard Oil down the line somewhere. I'll bring you on the show. You can tell us all about it.
At that point in time, and that's a tall order. And I'm the optimist in me knows we can get there.
Pay
and
attention.
The pessimist in me is like, oh my gosh, what are we committing to? Third question, I believe, was coming back in a year. 3 years seems like a long time. Most certainly, I think we can come back to a commission meeting, to an MRC meeting, provide updates. I think that was something we would probably do anyway, but can certainly commit to that formally or informally, and would welcome commissioners and commission staff to be involved in this data collection effort. Right? Let's go out there and tag some fish.
Please, Mike.
I just the last point.
This guy's not a good human.
You've got a sunset date in the language that you're considering, and that I just want to, what hopefully all my commissioners know is, but just make sure you do, is like doesn't prevent you from acting sooner. It also doesn't prevent you from subsequently extending that date out as you approach it if you need more time. It's just a public commitment that something will happen to reconsider this.
And gang, I had to say something because I found that rather rude that Eric guy was wandering around. And then they tell us that he's sick and he can't sit down. I watched him sit in that seat for 6 straight hours yesterday as he told us about internment camps and beavers and bringing grizzly bears back and all the things he believes in. He had no problem sitting during that. So I'm sorry. I had to say something. That was super rude. He started walking around when we got a chance to talk.
Decisions and just want to put that out there because I mean I do think that it's not just in this situation. In all of these decisions we have to make, sometimes there are win-wins. Like sometimes there's this
Morning,
thing
John
in the
Olson.
top right corner where like you get most of what you want in terms of, for example, the fishery, and you get most of what you want in terms of the economic and cultural and community benefits of being able to fish. So, just for us not to be thinking of it as zero sum and to always be looking for those opportunities. That's kind of what I'm after in this. I'd like to do something meaningful for the fish, meaningful to preserve opportunity. So I just want to put that out there as hopefully a way to think about these things that is not so like,
yeah,
if I give something, you lose something.
Did you see that, Jeanette? And then all of a sudden everybody said that he doesn't feel good. You look at him, now it's all about them. Look at him sit there. No problem sitting there right now, gang. Look at, he's got no problem sitting there at all.
It's interesting. I think I hear President Zavaleta saying that she supports 5 year-round and 2 during the spawning season. Do I have that right?
Yes, that's what I would support. Open to amendments to that idea, but I feel like that is pushing.
So is it only you feel bad when people are not talking about what you want to talk about? Huh.
And what about you, Commissioner Sklar?
It's a really tough one. I mean, the science and a precautionary approach, which is not specifically in our language, but our mission says we're to protect, enhance, and restore, pushes towards the idea of really limiting this fishery.
Look at this. He's got no problem sitting there right now.
Economic considerations. I think we all are deeply concerned about this fishery and the folks who earn their livelihood from it. So I'm really torn. I feel also like really disappointed we don't have 2 other commissioners here. Because we've talked about this as a group repeatedly. I think we know how some of the other commissioners feel. And we had a discussion about it last time. And I think if they were here, it would come out supporting the department's recommendation. I think that's how the vote would probably come out. I don't want to continue this. I think we have to make a decision today. But it's really tough. There is science. And for folks to, we're in an era now where we talk about believing in science. Science is not a belief system. It's a methodology that gets as close as you can to reality, and we always make decisions in the absence of all the data we would like. I can't think of one, or maybe that's an exaggeration. Very rarely do we have all the data that we would like to make these tough decisions. We don't have it here. I think the plan to get more data I think we all agree is really important. I think the sunset provision will keep us honest on it. And I do think I'd like to see a report back once a year to MRC. And if we at the MRC or whoever's on the MRC at the time decides that new data indicates the direction is going one way or the other, then that affects the probabilities that we have to make our decisions based on. If we hadn't had the discussion and if all commissioners were here, I'd be inclined to vote for President Zavaleta's proposal. But because they're not, I think I want to come down on the recommendation of the department that seemed to have the majority last time we were here. I didn't hear anything more today. We heard from more people, but I didn't think I heard anything more that really was dispositive. So my inclination is to go with the department's recommendation, but revisit this in a year.
So I agree that I don't feel like I heard anything new today during public comment. I also do feel like, I did not have the opportunity to speak with everybody that I have now spoken with before our last meeting. And I didn't get through all of last year's MRC materials before last meeting. So I don't know. I don't know what our fellow commissioners would have to say about this idea that we go with a sub-bag limit in the summer that is, it's still higher than what the vast majority of anglers are taking home.
It's a compelling argument. I don't disagree with your arguments, and like I'm saying, I think on another, in a different situation, I think I would just be right on board. I might be more conservative. I might make it 2 all the time, or 2 or 3, during the bulk of the season, and close during the spawning season. I think that's actually the wisest move, but we have to balance it all. It's just it's a difficult situation.
Yeah, and I think
Absolutely.
it's really difficult.
Unbelievable.
I'm relying a lot. I think we're all relying a lot on like this huge range of information, and it is both observations from the water and all kinds of data. It's data about fish. It's also data about economic impact and landings, and it's data about sort of the projected savings of barred sand bass associated with different bag limit options. I'm relying really heavily on that.
These keep saying feelings.
That to me is like the
They
idea
don't
that
believe
3.5%
in-
reduction in
They don't believe in
catch is
science.
gonna get this fishery back where it needs to be. That's a piece that
This
I'm
fishery
struggling
is right
with.
where it needs to be.
Dr.
There's
No,
billions
absolutely.
of them.
You can't
Yeah,
look at that chart and not, and that chart is very compelling. So I'm Tim. Yeah.
Yeah, I also, I went back and watched the tape last night of our meeting in February, and geez, I really wish we would have just let it be a range coming into this. And we did, right? We didn't change that, but it did get a little bit more specific, and that makes me a little uncomfortable. That's not to say we can't go someplace different, and that we can't continue to learn and have a broader conversation, and
Do you think they'll make a
change our
decision
minds,
before lunch?
But I really wish we hadn't done that.
I don't think they
at
will
our
to
discussion
get to it.
hearing,
There's
where
too
we
many
sort of
feelings.
signaled something.
What do you guys think?
Now this
Are they going to
seems
get
like
to this decision before lunch?
that
Why am I
would be-
doing this right now? Because this is super important to
Again,
us.
I hesitate rather to
We
even
the
say that out
people,
loud,
the
but because I
fishermen.
did go watch that tape again last night, I think there's a good lesson there that if we want to have a range, keep a range. And if you're going to signal something and forecast something, broadcast something, just know that has meaning.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
It's all
So would
about
someone like to make a
feelings.
motion?
Always has been. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with this. I want to say 2 last things. One is I'm really looking forward to the tribal committee coming up with our subsistence definitions, because I would carve out an exception here for tribes if we had something in place. So by the time we get back to this again, I hope we have that in place. I think that we have to have exceptions for tribal take on all our fisheries where it's desired and necessary. That's number 1. And number 2, over the general tone, I really appreciate, as I said earlier, what both of you said at the beginning of it about the way people are acting. I think that the criminal in the White House has made it okay for people.
Here
to act
we go.
I've never seen them act before, and it's really disturbing. We don't have to act like that just.
Here we
Because
go. He just
and
fucking
he
exposed
makes it seem like
himself.
it's
I can't
okay.
help it. I can't believe I cussed.
We act civilly. We're all volunteers up here. We're tough-skinned. It doesn't mean we can't take criticism. Feel free to do that anytime you want. But it doesn't move your cause forward. It doesn't help the dialogue, and it reflects really badly on you. It says that you're not an adult enough to speak civilly and intelligently about an issue, and you can't. We're human beings too. We're going to discount what somebody's saying because they lose their credibility when they act that way. So I would encourage you, if you want to make a difference, cut that shit out. With that, I'll make a motion that we I got signage here under all my notes. That the commission adopts the proposed changes to section 2830 related to the recreational takes of bar sand bass with a year-round sub-bag limit of 4 fish to expire on June 1st, 2028.
Yeah, buddy.
Friendly amendment that the department comes back with a check-in or an update or something in a year.
I modify my motion to include that.
I'll second.
Yeah.
So we have a motion from Commissioner Sklar, second from Vice President Murray. Sherry, could you please do the roll call?
Commissioner Sklar.
Aye.
Vice President Murray.
Aye.
President Zavaleta.
No. So the motion passes.
Woo!
And with that, let's see, it's 11:15.
We did it, ladies and gentlemen.
Everyone who participated in this. I know it's
You did it. Congratulations, everyone.
Process like this, and there we are.
You know. Congratulations. Call in if you want. If you have any feelings about this, I'm done listening to this rhetoric. I'm done. Gang, call me 949-374-0786. If you want to talk about this, I'll take your phone calls. Gang, we just got what we wanted. It sucks that we lost a fish, but they agree. 4 fish, that we can all live with that. It's okay. Everybody, I apologize 5 minutes ago for cussing, but he exposed himself. The criminal in the White House, he said. So there you go. Now you know. And anybody that wants to call in, I'm taking phone calls. Pablo, good morning. Good job, buddy. Great job on the call, pal. Great job.
Oh, yeah. It was so funny because, of course, I have the echo going and everything else, and then everybody's in and out of the house right when I started talking. But you know what? Just the main thing for them is to hear us, and they heard us. And I couldn't be prouder to be a member of your saltwater guide community than today, and even from our past meeting and today. I mean, that's such a huge accomplishment. I mean, didn't it seem like they were leaning towards a seasonal closure and all this? I mean, that's what the president wanted, right? And just crazy. I can't even believe that he said criminal in the White House. How does that have anything to do with anything today? You know,
it has everything to do with everything like I've been talking about for the last 2 years on this podcast. And once again, gang, I need to apologize. I don't cuss, but that got me big time. And I apologize from the bottom of my heart. But he exposed himself. Those people that are there, they were appointed by the governor of California. So,
That's right.
Pablo, that's why he said what he said. And it's good for us because he exposed himself. Now you all know. And Matt Ryan, I'm taking your call right after Pablo. But Pablo, everybody said you did a phenomenal job. Thank you so much for calling in. All of you. You guys got to give yourselves a round of applause. They did the shim sham flam flam thing again. They only allowed 50 of us in there. They did the same thing. They didn't pay for any more. My wife had her hand up forever. But you guys, I got them. I got to speak 3 times. And like I told my sister, she said, Dave, you can't lose it like that on that guy. And I said, Donna, I'm a leader. I have a lot of people watching me and listening to me. That man totally threw us all in the garbage. He didn't want to listen to us. I watched him for 6 hours sit in his chair yesterday. He felt great. Today, all of a sudden, he felt horrible when we started to talk. One thing about me, gang, is I'm going to call bullshit when there's bullshit. And that was crap. And then they all started crying. Oh, he's sick. He doesn't feel good. He felt fine yesterday. And I'll guarantee you he'll feel fine the rest of the day today. You watch. If you watch the rest of this, he's going to feel just fine. He sat in that chair for 10 minutes telling us how he feels about the criminal in the White House. All right.
Yeah, that was just insane. But anyway, guys, great job, everybody. Thank you, Captain Dave, for spearheading this thing, and everybody has contributed so much towards our campaign that I'm going to call a success. So, again, super proud to be a member of your Saltwater Guide. Let's stay involved.
You got it, buddy. Thank you. I love you, man. See ya. Gang, this is a big day for your Saltwater Guide members. Not for me, for you. You guys did it. I can't believe it. Like I said, I'm totally blown away. Matt Ryan, you're on live.
Dave, just to clarify, what do they decide right now? I'm not sure.
4 fish, baby. 4 fish for till 2028. It's done. Stamped. Rubber stamped. It's over.
And why do they keep on saying they're threatened by us? And I feel this, I feel that, and they're afraid to go to the meeting. And who's threatening them? What threats are made? I don't understand. We're just disagreeing with them.
These are the people that burn down Tesla plants. These are the people that think it's okay. These are the people. You just saw who they are. They talked about
they want to say there's a criminal in the White House when they're doing this kind of stuff.
They just said it. They don't want to. They said it. They said it out loud for all of you to hear it.
And he's cussing and everything, and then he gets on anybody else for just being a little animated in their opposal with what they're saying. I'm so mad right now.
Yeah, Mike Lewis, they said they're going to look at it next year, but it's a sunset clause till 2028.
Based on feelings.
Yep, based on feelings. All we got is today. All we have is
they're
today.
They're showing science that is only proving their hypothesis that sand bass are in decline. If they had a hypothesis that sand bass were on the increase, they can find science to prove that as well. It's narrative-based science. It's BS.
And you guys, like I told you for the last year and a half as we talked about this, I wanted you to see what was going on. And you guys know now, and you know how important it is. They couldn't not listen to us. They could not make the decision. There's a couple people there that didn't want us to have a fish. It was because of you guys. And like I told my sister, she was like, David, you can't go after the guy. All I was doing was, I had so many members talking about this man walking around while we were trying to share our feelings, which aren't feelings. We were sharing our science. And I believe, Matt Ryan, you did a great job, and everybody that spoke, because you spoke with the science. You did not speak with your feelings like they all did. They spoke with their feelings. Matt Ryan, you talked about the fish you catch. You talked about what you see out on the water. You talked about real stuff. They couldn't not pay attention to us, gang. We handled this perfect. And I don't believe in my heart that I went after the guy. I just saw what he was doing, and you know what?
You called him out.
That was super rude.
He was rude, and the other guy, Chuck, who's fallen asleep the whole day, that's rude also. Give that guy a cup of coffee. But I will say one thing, Dave. There are a lot of people in this community who I'm very disappointed in. Very disappointed in. Where are they? Where's their voice at the table? I know CCA was there, but I'm not happy with what he said. It could have been better.
Matt Ryan, there was over 200 people sitting there with their hands up. Bill Varney, my wife, many, many people. That's why I told you guys in February, they're only allowing 50 people because they don't want to pay the extra money for the Zoom calls. They don't believe in it. They don't want to pay for it. They don't want us to have a word. They don't want us to be able to talk. They don't want us.
They filled that meeting with people that would back up what their narrative was.
Yeah, their agenda.
NGOs and other people who don't know a thing about fishing, who they just said, hey, I need you to log in and say that you want to close this. Yeah. You had one lady say the sand sea bass.
Oh, yeah, she didn't know what she was talking about. She's a paid actor.
All right, I'm done. Have a good one, Dave.
Are you done?
No, I'm just frustrated.
Yeah.
I'll let you call somebody else.
All right. Sweet.
All right, see ya.
Bye. Oh, my goodness, gang. My computer won't charge. I don't know what's going on here. I'll take your calls if I can. I don't know why my computer won't charge. Something happened here. Hang in there, everybody. Stay with me for a minute. This is live. As live as it can be. There we go. We got it charging. Okay. So I had a couple of calls come in. Hold on a second. We got a guy who is super fired up. So hang in there. Listen to this young feller. Oh, my goodness. He's got something to say. Holy moly guacamole, Mr. Varney. I'm calling you. Mr. Varney, answer your phone. We're standing by for Bill Varney.
For the meeting now.
There he is. Bill Varney, you're live on the show.
Okay.
How'd you like that? Today, huh? How'd you like the criminal in the White House?
Guess what? I wrote it down in with parentheses around it, so I didn't miss it. the criminal in the White House. You know, one of my favorite parts of the meeting was when they went and they said, you know, what do we need to do to make these people believe us and believe our science? And the first thing that came to my mind was that, you know, how is it that we don't believe people in government now? Well, let's see. One example would be over the last 4 years, we were told over and over and over again by the president, the vice president, and others in his administration that the border was closed. So it's just our imagination that these 12 or 15 or 20 million people came into the country. We can't believe a word they say, and then they come out and say to us, oh, I don't understand why nobody can believe a word we say.
Right. Well, they totally exposed themselves because there was too many of us. But once again, gang, they did exactly what I exposed them on in February. Bill, they only allowed 50 people. Bill Barney, tell them, you had your hand up?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was telling you before, Dave, I have had my hand up almost every meeting in the last 35 years. Of course, you couldn't put your hand up before Zoom. You had to go to the meeting and put your hand up. And I'm barely ever called upon. For what reason? Because they don't like what I have to say at Zoom. So they ask me in general to send them letters in the mail.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, but we exposed it again, gang. My wife, Kelly girl, sat very patiently with her hand up the whole time. And when they ended it because they only have 50 spots on a Zoom meeting unless you pay the extra money. You have to pay the extra money to have more spots. So once again, gang, there was hundreds of us, hundreds of members waiting patiently to be on there. We don't, when Matt was saying where were all the members, a lot of them were there. Unfortunately, Matt, they don't get a chance because you don't get to see if you're going to be picked or not. You don't get to see if they can see. So it's absolutely ludicrous what happened again. But you know what, gang? We got our 4 fish, which is all I can say. And I feel like crying right now because I'm so proud of all of you for being here. And I'm so proud of all of you for being on that Fish and Game Commission meeting yesterday. You watched it, and I told everybody, watch the meeting yesterday. I know we didn't have a lot of participation in the meeting yesterday, but I wanted you to see how these people act because it's so important. And then as they acted the way they act, then they expose themselves today like you can't even comprehend. They don't even know. It's like one of my good friends said, they're so dumb they don't even know they're dumb. They exposed themselves today, Bill, like you can't even believe. When Bonham and Eric got up and started walking around, and then when I called them out on it, they said that Eric has to walk around because he doesn't have to walk around for the 6 hours that he's not walking around yesterday. 6 hours he sat in that chair, didn't move an inch, not an inch. And then he was so pissed that I called him out on it that he lost his cool and called the president of the United States a criminal. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you all were there. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I am so happy they can't even help themselves.
I am so proud of all the Saltwater Guide people that called in, wrote in, were watching, all of that. Look, when you listen to all of those phone calls, how many were attributed to us and to you in particular, Dave? Almost all of them. If it wasn't for you, nobody would even care, you know? And the thing is that, like you said, by just watching them, it exposes so much to you about who these people are as decision makers. For example, do you remember the part where they couldn't even explain what the bag limits were, and they had to have somebody else in the group explain to them what the bag limits were? They're making a decision on the number of fish that you can take home, which is called a bag limit, and they don't even know what it is. Right. So that's correct. A bad sign. What about the lady who called in from, I believe it was the National Resource Defense Council, who called our barred, what are they called? Sand bass?
Barred sand bass, barred sea bass.
Barred sea bass?
Yeah.
Like, they don't know the difference between a sand bass and a sea bass, and then they're going to come and tell 1 million California licensed anglers who spend all of this money on their licenses that they don't want them to catch barred sea bass.
Right.
And then here's another great example, okay? Where in the hell was the commission? Did you see that vote at the end? Of course all of you saw that vote. It was 2-1. Wait a minute. That's 3 people. 3 people. 3 people. Let me repeat it 3 times. 3 people are making a decision for 1 million licensed California anglers. And then last but not least, before I have it, my head blows off, is the fact that, you know, their statements at the end, they had written those in advance. It didn't matter what anybody said today, whether it was Schumann, the chief scientist, or all of us calling in. They didn't give a flying F. They had already made their decision on what they're going to do. They read it off, and they made a vote and a decision in like 2 seconds. They didn't present any science. There was no transparency with it whatsoever. They even admitted the science wasn't good. They didn't have full science. They don't know the first thing about transiting across international borders. It's an absolute joke.
Yeah, it was. We're going to take some more phone calls, buddy. Don't let your head explode. We got it. We got 4 fish. That's all we can do. Baby steps, everybody. Baby steps. Love you, Bill.
Baby steps. And last thing I'd just like to say is, don't forget now on your crab traps, you need a special color rope, and your buoy can't be bigger than a certain number of inches. And if you have a second buoy, it needs to be 6 inches from your first buoy.
Yeah. Woo. Okay, gang, we're taking more calls. Anybody that watched this meeting, real quick, let me show you something. FishingBooker.com. We can't do this show without our good friends over at FishingBooker.com. If you're going anywhere on the planet Earth and you need a boat to fish on, go to FishingBooker.com. That's how you're going to get the boat to go fishing on. Check this video out, and I'm going to show you the QR code.
FishingBooker.com can find you a boat to fish on, but there's nothing like fishing with your kids. Nothing like going fishing with your son or your daughter, being out on a boat that can actually find your fish and get memories and take pictures like that and just fish with your kids. There's nothing like it. Let FishingBooker.com find the right fishing boat for you. Go to FishingBooker.com.
Hey, Jeff, great job on the call today. I'm going to take you live on air in 1 second.
You like that?
Yep, get off the computer.
All right. So what I do? Hang up on this?
Hang up on the computer. Okay, gang, we got our good buddy
right.
Jeff joining us right now. Great job on the call today. It was incredible. Thank you so much, Jeff. What a great job. Unbelievable little speech you made. Native American, standing in the gap.
First Nation. Yeah. Great job. Turn it off.
Yeah, you got to turn the computer off. We got a massive echo, buddy.
Are they good?
There you go. Now you're more better. Way more better.
I know how that, Dave. All these First Nation people, First Nation bullshit. You know what? Actually, I'm Mescalero Apache, and so my grand. Can you hear me?
Yeah, got you loud and clear, buddy. Everybody's listening to you.
Yeah, my grandparents took my dad fishing. My dad took me fishing. We all fished sand bass, bonita, barracuda. So I told these people, and then they want to take that away from us. It's like, all right, equity. I go, equity bullshit. He goes, equity. I go, you know what? I go, we can't afford Disneyland. Disneyland's not equity. I mean, so we're going to go out, go fishing, put the food on the table, and, fighting for the sand bass, Dave.
Once again, I'm so proud of all of you. You guys did a great job making sure that we kept fishing open. This is one small win in a massive battle where you can't slow down. We can't stop. We're going to keep talking about it. But, Jeff, when I listened to you, I was so proud. You presented your case perfectly. You did it with no emotion. It was wonderful. You just did it from your heart. So thank you very, very much.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave, because you know what? Thanks you. You fight. You're a hard fighter, and there's some haters, and every once in a while it'll be stupid, but nope, you're doing the right thing, and we're going to keep on fishing. Fish on.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. We're going to take some more
See
calls.
ya.
Good job.
Love.
Okay, gang, we've had quite a few people call in. This guy, we got to get him on the phone. We need this guy on here right now.
Dave?
Seawolf, what are you doing?
Well, right now I'm just I want to crack a beer, but I'm not. I'll wait till 5:30.
You should crack a
Got
beer and have a sip for me.
Say this: I need you to calm Bill down. He's a national goddamn treasure, and he needs to relax. We did it, Bill.
Yeah, well,
that is our voice, right? That is my voice. If I could have him speak through me while I was there, I would be a better human being. So to Bill out there, thank you. Calm down. You're up there in age, and we need you around a lot longer for your knowledge.
Brett, you did a great job on your phone call today, and you presented perfect yesterday with the abalone. It was just, what a phenomenal 2 days. I know it sucks, but we need to expose these people. You went and saw them firsthand, then you got to watch it today. That's unbelievable, right?
I had to leave, Dave, yesterday. I did. I wanted, every being in my soul wanted to represent, and I knew I was about to. You're watching it on this when you're there. They all high-five each other. They all think their words are so beautifully and eloquently spoken, and you just saw it. They're all placed there by Gavin Newsom, right? His agenda. His agenda is the White House. Make no doubt about it. And to have his boy say that there's a criminal, and the criminal is the one that signs his paychecks. Insane.
Yeah, it was pretty wild, but it was pretty cool to see it all being exposed. And like
when I heard you, I just listened to your voice. I was like, oh, that's Dave. That one's Dave. I was like, oh no, Dave just told him. And then did you see her get all mad and said, they're not allowed to talk to anybody, but they had to come in to tell you that he's walking around on a cane. He sat perfectly yesterday. He sat perfectly he's been on that cane for I don't know how long. Yeah, anyway.
No,
Great
it's
job.
so fun to expose them. And like, everyone's all worried about how we're going to act. And I was like, Donna, my sister, I was just telling her, I have believe me, I'm the most humble human being in the world, but I have a lot of people watching me, Donna, and I can't just sit here and watch this guy dismiss all of us. We've all taken the day off from work. We're all sitting in front of our computers, and this man has decided that we don't matter, and he's going to walk around, take pictures of the door, then he's going to have a discussion with Bonin, and then all of a sudden, oh, David, you can't talk to him like that. He's had an operation. He doesn't feel good. He can't set that long. I watched him set 6 hours yesterday.
I did too. And when I would talk to him directly, looking at him, he sinks in his chair. But then they get a revival right afterwards because they all have each other's back. They all have their agenda, and their agenda is very clear. There's no science. As of 2024, our budget, how much we're in debt in California, is $76 billion. Where do you think this money for science and these film is going to come from? He just yelled at the guy that gives him federal money for Newsom. It's just incredible. They have no money for this at all.
And don't worry, Brett, and don't worry, Mike Lewis. We did the show. Remember, the show was going live when he called out the President of the United States of America. So yeah, if you're wondering if we have it recorded, we have it recorded, and right now 30,000 people heard it so far. We're not even close to being done. Yeah,
it's probably be bigger than your little fluid in the spine video with the. Come on, you know what I'm saying? Let's get it out there on national news. I'm excited. Like I said, they are gonna get if Gavin Newsom somehow comes and gets into the White House, these people have a jobs lined up for them. We have to keep on it. We do. I know it's party time, but it's just the tip. We got to get rid of the government here. We got to get rid of that panel. That panel is corrupt.
And you guys, everybody that's watching this today, you know who's super active on social media is Donald Trump Jr. Jr.'s super active. So if you guys send him messages on Instagram and tell him about this, we'll give him a copy of the recording and let him look at it. He can go tell his dad that someone who's getting government money is calling the president of the United States a criminal. They don't like that anymore. Those days are gone. You can't do that.
He's catering to the 10%, Dave, and they don't get it. They really don't get it. The wardens there got it. They were talking to me all yesterday. I'm not exposing anybody. I'm just saying. They give you a wink. They give you a thumbs up. They say, wow, those are some nice shoes. Wow, I've seen your videos. A couple of them were from my area, Monterey. They move them all around. But when I'm out on the water scuba diving during halibut season 5 days a week, you get to know the wardens. You just do. So I talk to a lot of the old wardens that for them not feeling safe, the only place they shouldn't be safe is outside that building in Sacramento. There's homeless. When I pulled up, there was 800 homeless being fed right there where we walked in at. You had to walk through the homeless. It was insane.
Right, and then they call us out. They call out the fishermen. We're standing up. We don't do any. There's none of us that do anything violent. Those people that are supporting them are the ones burning down the Tesla factories and going around keying Tesla cars and BLMers and all that stuff. Talk about violence. It's not the fishermen. That's all a bunch of rhetoric and baloney. They're trying to just cause drama.
Well, I mean, like you said, get that video out. We're live when he said it. Get that video out of him saying it, just 10 seconds. Have all your members just make put their own music behind it. One of them will hit. One of them will go out there on the internet and nail it, or keep it for yourself. I don't care. But if we all chop that up in 10 seconds or less in a reel, I don't care if you've done reels or not before. They're super easy to do. And just keep it at 10 seconds where he's calling our president a criminal. That's it. That's hands down. That'll go viral somewhere.
Yeah, and there's enough of us. And if you guys pay attention on Instagram, Donald Trump Jr. is all over the internet. He's all over Instagram. And his granddaughter, she's all over Instagram. She's got up to 3 million followers right now. You can send her this message. That's her grandpa. That's who she loves, cherishes. He takes her golfing all the time. Those two, between Junior and the granddaughter, they will get the message back to him. It is super, gang. It's like I've been saying for a year. We the people, we need to take back our country, the United States of America. I doubt very seriously there's very many people that watch me right now or listen to us, Brett, that don't agree with you and I. I just find it highly unlikely. We got 56 people watching live right now on YouTube. You guys, it's time to get involved. It's not that hard. You guys just saw how cool it is to be involved and to actually get. This is not a huge win, but it's a win. We got 4 bass. They wanted us to take none. That one lady fought right up to the last second to make it 2. We got 4. We wanted 4. That's what we agreed with in February. Unfortunately, I know. But that symbolic 1 bass, that made those guys on the fence feel good about themselves. It's a game that you got to play, gang. And I know it sucks, but the game is changing. It's starting to move.
Changing.
It's moving into our favor, Brett.
Dave. I know, I'm changing. I've heard you say this before. Anybody that knows me, anybody that knows you, there's no way politics or me even communicating with the game warden or any of this would be in my wheelhouse. Me going to Sacramento and looking at I had to leave because I know myself, but I'm changing it as a human being. I want to become like a Bill Barney if someday I can morph into that. I didn't go to school, so I'm not going to get there. I get it. But when you say we the people, it showed in our last election. We got tired of the lies. The lies are there, and he has puppets in there like Eric and everybody else. That is going to be, I'll tell you what, that little piece of him saying that and cussing, exactly what that does when you cuss. It brings you down as a person on social media and in the establishment of people. I cuss all the time. You've told me, stop it, stop it. This guy was cussing all yesterday. He says, we get shit done. That's what he said. Sorry, I know it's your show.
No, it's okay.
I'm saying what Eric said.
This is one of those shows where we're going to have to put the PG rating on it, buddy, because I cussed a bunch today too. And it's an emotionally driven thing. But you know what happened, Eric? I mean, Brent, I got to that Eric guy. That he was a babbling idiot. He couldn't because I called him out on doing exactly what he was doing.
I'm telling you, I'm like, Dave just said that. That's something I would say. But it does. It gets them off. Listen, guys, when you make a statement like that, it gets their nerves, and then it gets them out of it. You know, Matt Ryan was just texting me. That guy needs a coffee. That guy needs a coffee. That's how they talk. They talk like that so that you're so bored, you want to put a bullet in your head before you listen to anything else they say. And then they can say whatever they want, and you're not even listening. That is a very strategic move. When you did that to him, it pissed him off, and he had to. It's almost like the abalone the time before, where he had to add in fossil fuel. And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, okay. So the fossil fuels, one of the things that's going to save our country right now, fossil fuels, and that's what you're going to go with. Trump being bad, that's what you're going to go with. Trump being a criminal. This commission is apt. I'll clean it up. It is apt, and they know it. They can feel it. They can sense it. They know we don't follow their science anymore because their science is not science.
That was so funny that he compared me to the criminal in the White House. I feel so bitching right now. I've been compared to Donald J. Trump. Oh my God, what's my ego gonna do now?
You have to change your haircut from the mullet to the bouffon-du. You got hair for it. Come on, let's bleach it white and do the bouffon-du next PCS show.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun. Thank you guys, everybody. All right, we got a couple more people I want to talk to. I love you, Brett. Bye. Okay, gang, if you tried calling in, I got a couple of buddies on here trying to call in. I mean, that was, oh Lord have mercy, that was so fun. That was just absolutely incredible. I had a really good time watching them expose themselves. And I'm going to call you, Dwayne. Just hang in there. Got one caller ahead of you. My man Brian did a great job today. That was awesome listening to you, Brian.
Captain Dave, hey, thanks for returning the call. You know, I know what it means to, serve on the public. With my background, and it's a huge responsibility, and I don't think some of the commissioners really understand that once you're in the public eye, you have to be careful what you say, and it makes me think about Erica. She did cut me off yesterday morning, despite that the topic today wasn't being spoken on yesterday, but the matter of fact that she didn't let me speak, she cut me off. It's a very authoritative behavior. And, just had to kind of remind them that they're for the people. They're not for themselves. They're not, political agenda. They need to be better at, providing leadership and representing us. But sadly, that's not the case anymore. So, it's great to see other, your Saltwater Guide members on there, your sister Donna, members of CCA. As we all agree, we're in this together to fight, our future, our freedom for fishing for many generations to come.
Yeah, it was great. You did a phenomenal job. You spoke very eloquently, and I was stoked to have you on there, and thanks for shouting out to the community. It's always wonderful to hear you talk, Brian. You're good at it, and it was fun to watch them expose themselves. They couldn't help it.
They just could not help it. They are so far left. They can't even. I heard somebody say on a show last night, they are so far left that it makes them so dumb that they don't even know they're dumb.
Right. And I invited some friends that, they're not, part of any, fishing group or organizations. And, they're kind of shocked to see the clownery that's happened with these, public officials. We see it in, a lot of social media, but, I asked them, you should see, in our, specific, area of fishing, especially that's, under the state. So we're all in this together, and the fight's not over. It's just begun.
Yeah, it is. And thank you for all your support. Thanks for being a member of your Saltwater Guide, Brian, and have a great day. What a great day. It's a great day for all of us. If you're going to go out and have a soda or a beer, have a drink for me, buddy.
Thank you, Dave. Every day is a beautiful day when you're online, so I appreciate it.
Thank you very, very much. Captain Al Clowers, hello, buddy. We got one more person to call, and then we're going to talk to you. Is that okay?
That's fine with me.
Yeah, what a great day, huh?
Yeah, for the saltwater side, but I got a bunch of info on the lake stuff. I just sent it to you.
Yeah, I see it. One battle at a time. One battle at a time. We'll all
Dave?
Wait, you're online, buddy. Welcome.
How you doing?
We're doing great. We had a great day today. Thank you for being a part of. Thanks for calling in and talking about urban runoff. That was wonderful.
And I tell you one thing, we got to say, Newport. I don't know if you've seen that what they built at the back of the bay to catch all that water from Irvine and all that afloat in there. It's amazing.
Yep, and
it puts it in a dumpster by itself.
It just shows you that you can do stuff, but they choose not to.
Exactly. And, if we wouldn't have stood up, we had the one leading our way, but she still wanted to bring it down to 2 for the summer months. But she's the first one is now saying something about let's bring new sciences. Let's let our community of people that are out on the water a lot, Pablo, Justin, Dave, all you, your family, all your people around you, we have a chance to help and guide the fishing by keeping records of when we go out fishing.
Absolutely, buddy.
And where, like the lobster card, but backwards.
Yep.
How many small ones we got?
We're going to help them. We're going to work on it. We're going to do our part. We know now how important it is to be involved. And we have a brand new stress thing coming down the pipe. We still have the 30 by 30 coming down, which is going to close 30% of our lakes and streams and 16 more percent of our ocean. They want our bait. They want so much. This is nothing compared to what they have, but this is a small baby step win, and we'll take it all day, every day. Captain Al Clowers is standing by here to tell us all about what they're going to do to the inland lakes in San Diego, which is pretty sad, Dwayne. You got to listen to what Al has to say. You're going to go, what the hell?
We also got to make sure those windmills don't go up north, because I drove by them yesterday. I found 3 more of them spilling oil everywhere out of them.
Send me those pictures and we'll post them like we did last time, buddy.
When I go back up there next week, I'm going to drive down that dirt road and get those pictures.
Good. Go get them, boy.
If they don't pressure wash them off before. They bring those big old trucks with that big old water truck and blast it off.
Crazy, right? Crazy. They wash it off and it goes right into the sand in the desert and kills millions of little lizards and snakes and rats, and they don't care.
I think they think that thing's going to blow away and evaporate in the heat.
That's probably exactly.
Something's going to have to come down. Something has to come down. I mean, if we want to be so sufficient on green energy, you go there, you see the windmills. You'll see us over the side. You see a big old solar farm right around it because they're trying to use the same transmission lines. But if you look back in the distance, guess what? There's 3 gas-powered turbines there with the big old smokestacks.
Yeah.
You know, how do you say that you still need the fossil fuel? You know,
Yeah.
we gotta be on top of and protect. I know that's the desert, but I think the same thing's going to happen over here. You know what I mean?
We're going to stay
By the
diligent,
ocean.
Dwayne. We're going to stay diligent.
We need the thing. Let Al get on, and
let's
thank
see
you
what
for
Al's got to
leading
say.
us all on, Dave.
Thanks, buddy. Captain Al Clowers, what in the holy heck's going on in the freshwater world?
Well, so these are all San Diego City lakes. So the budget, as everybody knows that lives in my area down here, San Diego's out of control and way over budget, and they're cutting everything, libraries, and they're cutting. The last 4 years, they've taken 1 day away from all our lakes. Now they're taking away, basically, most of the lakes are only going to be open 2 days a week. And some of them were open 7 days a week. Lake Murray and Lake Miramar have been open 7 days a week. They're taking it down to 2 days a week. Otay is only open on Saturday and Sunday. It's just crazy what they're doing. So if the viewers want to get involved, there's a I don't know exactly how to say it, but there's a group. It's called Save San Diego City Lakes. It's on Facebook.
We're gonna make up a QR code, and we're gonna get involved, Al, and we're gonna be involved. Elliot will help us get it all going.
So what the people that it's the same as the saltwater stuff, you know, everybody wants to sit down and yak about it and complain, but you know, when it comes to action, not too many people are showing up to the meetings and stuff. And we're up against them draining the lakes. Like El Cap is drained almost all the way. It's about 15% full right now. So they're taking all the water out. They're taking all our fishing days away. And it's just out of control. So the Friends of San Diego City Lakes is advocating to combat all this stuff, but they need our help. And my buddy Tommy is the spearhead of the whole operation. I've known him for 35 years. I fished tournaments with him for a long time when I was younger, and they agreed to hire a lobbyist, and this lady she knows all the ins and outs and all the council members and all the good stuff, and she really thinks that she can get some stuff changed. And so they started a GoFundMe page, which if you go to Facebook, Save San Diego City Lakes, it's on there. You can donate that way, or you can write a check and get your tax money back for for your tax deduction. But this lady's $5,000 a month, so they want to do it for 3 or 4 months, and then Tommy's going to be on her coattail, and then he can take over from there. But I'm just sitting here, it's just out of control, and those people sitting on the board. I just want to thank all your Saltwater Guide members and everybody that raised their hand and talked on there. I couldn't do it. I was over at my mom's, but I was listening. And that new president is out of control. They're all out of control, but that chick is out of control. She probably never caught a fish in her freaking life.
They don't spend any time outside.
I don't really know. I don't really know how to handle all that stuff, but I can tell you what. The one guy said 5 years, and then she wanted to revisit it in 12 months. And so that's going to be coming up quick, But I don't know how to get. How do those people get nominated for those seats?
You got to be very, very close personal friends with the governor of the state of California. They were all appointed. They weren't voted for.
Oh, they were appointed. That is out of control. And then they intermingle and they vote for each other for the president and vice president.
Right. Yeah, here's the bottom line, like we talked about back in November when we were voting for the president of the United States. If you're tired of this, you need to remove your head from your rectum and you got to vote for the governor this year. You got to vote for the governor. And now they're saying they're going to prop up Kamala to be the governor of the state of California. So it'll just be more of this stealing and lying that's been going on for so long. So it's time for we the people. And if the criminal in the White House, quote unquote, that Eric told us about in the meeting a few minutes ago, if he makes the state of California show voter ID like he says that's the only way they're going to get any more federal money, if that happens, then there will be no more Democratic governor in the state of California. But as long as there's no voter ID in the state of California, you will keep getting what you're getting because it's corrupt as you can't even comprehend. Where and what justifies no voter ID? You got to have an ID to go to the bathroom. You got to have an ID to fish. You got to have an ID to fly. You got to have an ID to drive a car. You got to have an ID to do everything except vote.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It pisses me off to no avail. It's crazy.
But we the people, Al, I keep saying it, we the people. I don't believe this problem with the lakes will get saved by money. I believe in my heart it'll be saved by we the people. If 50, 60, 70 of us show up in the meeting that they have to close your lakes, and they're going to go, what the hell? Because no one shows up.
Right.
I'm not saying Dave Hansen's the greatest human being in the world, but you guys just saw the meeting. You guys just saw who showed up there. You guys just saw who represented we the people. You guys just saw it. I don't have to say anything else. You saw it.
Right, we got 4.
There was no tackle companies represented. There was no tackle shops. There was nobody. They weren't there. They didn't have all their people. The other websites that are stealing your money to give you information about stuff that happened a couple of days ago, they weren't there. They weren't representing. They didn't have their members there. That's all I'm saying, gang. That's all you guys, you saw it. You know who was there and you know who wasn't there. So remember that the next time you're going to go spend your money. Remember that the next time you want to go read some crap on the internet about me. Remember who showed up. Remember who was there all day yesterday and all day today. Us, your Saltwater Guide members, we were there. We were there in February. We're going to keep being there. We're going to be there to help Captain Al and all of our friends that like to fish in the freshwater. We just showed we're a force to be reckoned with. The members of your Saltwater Guide. We're a massive family and we're going to make a difference, Al. And we're going to help you with the lakes. You're going to get to start fishing in spots you didn't think you'd ever get to fish again, buddy.
That would be great. We just don't want them to take away our days for now. It's crazy. Totally crazy.
Lisa, we have the audio. We have the full audio on the show. Today's show. The full audio will be available in a few minutes. When I click out of this, it'll be available on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Megaphone, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere you find me, you're going to find Eric blowing up. Eric blew up. He made an absolute fool of himself, and you're all going to get to see it. We had it live on our show. Oh, Captain Al, I'm so happy. I'm going to go cry for a little while because I can't believe you guys showed up.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, Dave. Imagine that. Back in the day, all you wanted to do is quit drinking. Now look at you.
You're right. 37 years ago, I just didn't want to drink no matter what. And here we are 37 years later making a difference. It's so bizarre.
Right. Yeah, those old guys that told us the blessings keep coming, they're 100% correct.
Are the old guys that told me, Dave, keep your mouth shut and let the process be the process. Like, Don't tell me that. Get out of my way. Watch me affect the process. Get out of the way.
Right? Yeah, it's pretty wild. And you get to feel all of it. You're not, pounding beers and all hammered,
Yeah, Tim Ogilvy's on the line. Say hi to Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Captain Al. Hey, how's it going? Hey, Dave. Hey, I didn't know you changed your name to Keith.
I told you guys I'm going to be as filthy as they are. I had 3 different names on there.
That's it. I raised my hand, and I don't know if they called me and I didn't hear or what, but I'm sitting in the doctor's office and kept turning the volume down because people are looking at me because I had the meeting going, and I'm going, oh great, now they're going to call me, and the waiting room's full. But hopefully they didn't call me. Did they call my name? I don't know.
No, they didn't. They didn't call my wife's name. They didn't call Bill Varney's. We got about 50 people that have sent me messages saying they had their hand held up the whole time. They didn't call on any of them. It's just how filthy it is, gang. It's just we're exposing the filth and the lies and the deceit. We exposed it big time. Tim Ogilvy, you took the time out of your day to be on that call and they didn't pick you. Doesn't that make you pissed?
Yeah, and I got my speech written out. I carried it with me.
You got to be quick with the click. You got to do it right on time.
No, it didn't matter, Al, because they only paid for 50 people. So the other 150 people that were waiting, they were never going to get on there.
Right.
And during the whole thing, we had people texting in, Tim. They kept lowering. I had my laptop, my phone, and my personal computer all going at the same time, and I'm on my phone, and they kept lowering my hand. And if I wasn't paying attention, I would look back and I go, shit, they lowered it again. I just kept putting it back up. They are the scummiest, sleaziest human beings, and you guys got to see it. I'm not making stuff up. You guys, whatever. And then they told us that we're violent.
Yeah. Well, at least, hey, although your Saltwater Guide members, I mean, they made a presence, so you ought to feel proud about that.
I'm very proud of all of you guys. That was so insane. You made me cry. Again, I sat here when they said, we're going to give you guys the 4 sand bass. It was all I could do because I was live and I saw everybody looking, and I was all I could do not to start crying.
So I missed part of it. Are they going to close? They're not going to close it down during the summer then, are they?
No.
No. It's 4 fish.
Oh.
It's 4
okay,
fish.
Good.
And then they're going to go look at it next year. They're going to look.
Right.
By then, they probably won't have any of this free money left to go look. Because by then, I mean, look at what the criminal in the White House has done in the first 100 days. Next year at this time, these people won't even, they will cease to exist, and it'll be cool.
They got a target on their back. They got a target on their back now if we can make this video go viral.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
Remember,
good.
Dave Hansen gets 30 million views a month, and I know the biggest influencers in the industry. They come on my show. Watch what happens now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys did it.
Yeah, that guy buried himself. He buried himself. We didn't have to say nothing.
It went good. It went good, Tim. Thank you so much. And everybody, all the members, everybody that called in, I want to talk to everybody. The meeting's still going on, so I know a lot of you are watching. They're trying to take away our squid. They're just looking for anything to screw up. We're going to regroup. Tomorrow, I have no guests, so I'm going to have all the members be the guests tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to circle the wagons. Maybe my sister will join us. Maybe Brian Woolley. Maybe some of the people that were at the meeting. Maybe some of you that waited in line and didn't get on. Those are the people I want to hear from. Those of you that had your hand up the whole time and didn't get on. I want to hear from all of you tomorrow. That would be so fun. It would be so awesome to hear from you guys. It would be just wonderful. And we're really... My sister just sent... My sister knows we're on here live right now, gang. She wants you all to know. thank you very, very much from the bottom of her heart. She says, thank you. We made a giant difference. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank her for speaking up as well.
If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have known about any of this stuff, gang. I'm not a politician. I'm not in the political realm. Like Al said, I just want to stay sober no matter what.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard dealing with this shit.
Yep, it's crazy.
Makes me want to get loaded.
All right, well, I'll let you go in case somebody else wants to call.
Okay, gang. And listen, gang, Tim, at this afternoon after lunch, they're coming back into session and they're going to be talking about expanding the MPAs. So this is something that's super important. All of you go back in there and raise your hand and just tell them you don't agree with expansion of MPAs. They do not work. There was a scientist on this morning that told them MPAs do not work. So
I heard that.
So get ready for round 2, gang. They're going to lunch. They're going to go get their $15 cup of brown water over at Starbucks, and they're going to be back ready to go. They may even be awake for the afternoon session. You never know.
I don't think they drink Kool-Aid or coffee. They drink Kool-Aid.
Yeah, they're drinking the Kool-Aid. That's for damn sure. But let's get in there. Yeah. Let's get in there and make a difference. No more MPAs. We're done. No more closures of any way, shape, or form. We're done. Everybody get involved. Be on the meeting this afternoon. But congratulations. Thank you, everybody. Captain Al, you'll be with me tomorrow. Justin, Pablo, Bill, Barney, we'll all be on here, and we'll take every single person's call Friday. We want to talk to all of you. Tim, I love you, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks.
Tomorrow, 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we'll be live on the show. We'll be talking about what a great day today was. Maybe we can get my sister to join us. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Turn off the news. Remember, you just saw they're all lying. They're a bunch of liars, right, Al?
That's right.
And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Be kind to each other.
See ya.
See ya.